Good evening, everyone. Welcome council, staff, and residents to the council meeting for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, and we are being streamed live. And I'll call the meeting to order with the land acknowledgement. We are meeting today on the traditional territory of many nations, including the Huron-Wendat, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. We acknowledge our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain these lands and the natural resources contained within. We honor their cultures and celebrate their commitment to this land. We would also like to acknowledge the Mohawk and Algonquin nations whose traditional and unceded territory we are gathered upon today. Hastings County is situated on treaty land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. So next, I just want to make a comment that Councillor Lactos may be delayed in arriving. So thank you. Next, I need a recommendation that the agenda for the regular meeting of the Council of the Municipality of Marmon Lake for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 be approved as presented. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric? Second, Mike? Any comments on the agenda? All in favor? That's carried. Is there any declaration of pecuniary interests? Being none, next is the mayor's report. April the 7th, I presided over the regular meeting of council, except for the CAO's report on the Alto, and council passed a motion to object to the project. April the 11th, I had a telephone meeting with Warden Mullen. April the 13th, I met with the CAO. April the 14th, I attended the Southeast Public Health Governance meeting virtually. April the 18th, I attended the Lions Club Pancake Breakfast. As usual, it was excellent and well attended. Thank you again for your generous contributions to the schools and the community by a great group of volunteers. April the 21st, this morning, I attended the Hastings County Planning and Development and Finance, Property and Personnel Committee meetings in Belleville. The manager of planning reported on recent changes to the Planning Act. The Finance, Property and Personnel Committee passed a motion to recommend to County Council to approve a policy and bylaw regarding lame duck council in preparation for the upcoming municipal election. A motion to accept the county's asset management plan was passed. General comments were that every municipality has challenges to meet the standards set out in the asset management plans. And I just wanted to say Hastings County's assets are approximately $516 million. At 3 o'clock today, I participated in the closed personnel committee meeting. At 5:30, we started. I presided over the planning meeting and participated in the committee of adjustment meeting and now the regular meeting of council. And I just want to say thank you to the community volunteers who are participating in the spring cleanup. Last week, I saw Alan Fluke and his team picking up trash along Highway 7. On Cordova Road on Sunday, a group were actively collecting garbage. Also, thanks to Eric and Ann McNeil for providing the kits to the volunteers. Okay, next, there's no one here for public input. So the minutes of the regular meeting of the council of Marmon Lake for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. So the recommendation is that the foregoing minutes of the regular meeting of the council of the municipality of Marmon Lake held Tuesday, April 7th, 2026 be approved as presented. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Mike and Ron, any discussion on those minutes? All in favor? That's carried. Staff reports. So the quarterly reports for the first quarter of 2026. We have the administration report, the bylaw report, environmental report, fire report, parks and recreation facilities report, and the treasurer's report. And the recommendation is that staff reports for the first quarter of 2026 be received for information. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Eric, second, Mike. Any comments or questions on any of those reports? John?
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Chair, to Council. One of the things that Council will note that on a number of the quarterly reports, this was something that was identified as a priority for Council with myself, was that to take, for example, on the environmental quarterly report, was to include a table which talks about capital projects and the budget for 2026. You'll see on some of them that they've been populated and others not. I just wanted part of me to identify to council that that's now going to be included. And if you have any comments or suggestions as to that's what you're looking for, if you'd like something more different, I'd be open to feedback. But the idea is that going forward, those will be populated each quarterly report as we go forward, where it's appropriate to the department providing that report.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Go ahead, Eric.
Question through the chair to staff. Regarding the bylaw report, in 2025, council passed the motion 2025-299 that was came out of the Economic Development Advisory Committee related to enforcement of some of the obsolete and derelict downtown signage. I know you can't speak to that specifically, but do you know if there's been any action taken on that motion?
Through your chair to Councillor Dow, I don't have that answer handily, but what I can do is follow up in the next council meeting to make sure you have that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any further comments or questions on any of those reports? Okay, Eric, did you have, or were you
Yeah,
gonna
just
vote?
no, just a couple other comments.
Go ahead. sure.
Okay. The environmental services report, just a general comment. It's noted in here that the service was completed on the crawler loader, so it's good to see regular maintenance happening as per schedule, and we've invested so much into that equipment. Thank you for staff for taking responsibility over that. A question related to that as well. So we have a job posting in that department currently. Can you give an update where we're at with that? We've gone back to market, I think. Is that correct?
Thank you. Through your chair to Councillor Dow. Yes, and we actually had posted just before Christmas, so the end of 25, for someone to replace someone who's been here for 20+ years, looking to try and find a unicorn if there was one out there. Through a number of applications, we found that even with the qualified people coming forward, they couldn't replace the gentleman who is retiring at the end of June. So what we did do is go back and look at how we could restructure in the organization as to what we're looking for. So currently there was a posting, I believe that was closed last Friday. Myself and the manager, Keila McLean, have gone through the applications and we'll be setting up interviews. So those will be going forward with the idea of filling that vacancy under that new revision. It's difficult because we don't have as much experience out there with people with water, wastewater, both sides. We had that in Jamie, which was fantastic, but we're losing that. Notwithstanding, we're looking to hire to be able to do that. The rest being balanced out within the department. And the idea is that we would have this person on board and be able to help with the transfer of whatever knowledge possible as soon as possible, so that Jamie, before he retires, is able to transfer that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anything further? Being not, I just want to say thank you to staff for the excellent reports that really help to keep council informed and up to date. So thank you very much. So if there's nothing further, all in favor? That's carried. Next is the updated use of municipal resources for election purposes policy, and it's Kristen's report. So the recommendation is that council accept this updated use of municipal resources for election purposes policy report dated April 21st, 2026, and further that bylaw 2026-27 being a bylaw to establish a policy for the use of municipal resources for election purposes for the municipality of Marmor Lake be recommended for council approval. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Mike, second Eric. Any comments or questions on that report? Go ahead, Eric.
Through the chair to the clerk. One of the, I guess, changes between the previous policy and the new policy states candidates may attend all candidate meetings or forums that are, and it specifies not located on municipal property. Can you speak to use of municipal facilities for all candidates meetings going forward?
Through the chair to Councillor Dow. In looking at the previous policy and policies of neighboring municipalities, speaking with other clerks, really seeking clarity. We know this is my first election, and so I wanted to be sure we had a policy that I understood so that when questions are being asked, you know, I would know the answers. So where all of the policies I've read suggest that there will be no campaign activity on municipal property, to then turn around and suggest in some cases, well, unless you pay the full rental fee, or maybe if someone else runs it, then you can campaign on municipal property. So it's not an addition or interpretation maybe of the old policy that I took lightly, but I felt for candidates, for staff, it was easiest if we say no campaign activity can happen on municipal property, that no campaigning activities can happen on municipal property. And feel that, you know, there are other facilities available within Marmaran Lake, within neighboring communities, where it's still possible to have those meetings, certainly not wanting to get in the way of that very important part of the election puzzle. But I feel it's clearer this way, and we can all be on the same page about that.
Okay, thank you.
Just for clarification, Kristen, last election, they had campaign or all candidates meeting like in the Lions Hall at the community center and also at the DeLaurel Hall. Does that mean that those facilities can't be used for that purpose? Just to be
That's
clear?
correct. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Anything further? Go ahead, Mike.
I heard you talk about if the meeting was, or the all candidates night was run by any other association other than the municipality, or any candidate who was on council at the municipality. That's the way they got around it the last time, I do believe. But I see this time there's, okay, everybody's got the same vote. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes it crystal clear. So thank you. Anything further? All in favor? That's carried. Next, Kalos, Manager of Environmental Services. The recommendation is that council receive this motion 2026-149, April 7th, 2026 report dated April 21st, 2026. And further, that council deny the request of Mr. Sagal to reduce his current utility bill and change the municipal utility billing structure. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Ron, second, Mike? Comments or questions? Go ahead, Ron.
I just want to thank the water department for the detailed report and a lot of information there about meters that I didn't know. So I want to thank Kayla, I guess, for doing that. It was good information.
Thank you. Anything further? All in favor? That's carried. Next, Nancy, Municipal Treasurer, regarding the long-term borrowing bylaw through Infrastructure Ontario regarding the landfill track loader. There's the long-term borrowing bylaw and the certificate of the treasurer estimated debenture payments for landfill track loader. And the recommendation is that council accept this long-term borrowing bylaw through Infrastructure Ontario landfill track loader report dated April 21st, 2026. And further, that bylaw 2026-28 being a bylaw to authorize the long-term borrowing for a 10-year amortizing loan in the principal amount of $166,334.98 towards the cost of a 2025 John Deere track loader from Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation be recommended for council approval. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? Mike, and second, Eric. Any comments or questions? Go ahead, Mike.
It's just nice to see that the cost of the loader came in significantly under what we'd budgeted for. So that's kind of nice. And I think we're gonna move the money to payments for next year. Is that what we're moving it into reserves for the time being, what we'd budgeted?
Through the chair to Councillor Stevens. So this debenture is from the 2025 budget. And And so we had budgeted to make debenture payments in 2025. They would go into reserves in 2025 and come out and be used in 2026 to make the payments. So there's no tax implication.
Okay,
in
so it's the
2026.
payments that are just getting.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Being none, oh, John, I thought I saw your hand go up. All in favor? That's carried. Thanks, Nancy. Next on the agenda, Mike Levi, interim fire chief, community wildland fire protection plan. And the recommendation is that council receive the community wildland fire protection plan, Marmarin Lake report dated April 21st, 2026 for information. And I have a mover and a seconder. Mike? Or sorry, Ron and Eric. Any comments or questions for the chief? Go ahead, Eric.
There's a lot of information in here. It's obviously very detailed reports. I think the council and public should definitely look at some of the recommendations put forward within that report, and maybe in future consider some specific motions to address some of these. For clarification through the chair to staff, we are no longer using Voyant Alert or paying for that service. Is that correct?
Go ahead, Mike.
So through your chair to Councilor Dow, I can answer.
Oh,
We're no
okay,
longer
so-
using that. That's correct.
Okay.
Anything?
One of the other recommendations in here, page 87 of the agenda package, procure a rescue boat that is suitable for traveling the water access only locations where our Marmarin Lake Fire Department provides wildland and fire suppression. Through the chair to Mike, can you explain how you handle that now without a boat?
Through the chair to Councillor Eric. Yeah, currently we basically utilize public's watercraft in order to address any situation from the water. However, by land, we normally address any fire concerns.
So in your opinion, this piece of equipment, would an aluminum boat with an outboard motor be suffice for something like this? Or can you speak to any of the detail of what that requirement would be for that piece of equipment?
Yeah,
Thank you. Through the chair to Councillor Eric. The other fire departments have a kind of standard fire boat that would be recommended for our department.
anything further, Eric? Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? That's carried. Thanks, Mike. And Bob. Next is CAO status update for April 2026. And the recommendation is that council receive the CAO status update April 2026 report dated April 21st, 2026 for information. Can I have a mover and a seconder, please? They get a mover and a Mike and Ron. Any discussion or comments or questions? Being none, all in favor? That's carried. Thank you, John. Committee and board reports. Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance, the minutes. Minute here. So the recommendation is that the foregoing minutes and reports of the committees and boards listed are hereby received for information. And I have a mover and a seconder. Eric? Second? Ron? Any questions or comments on that report or on those minutes? Go ahead, Eric.
I guess just a couple worthy things of note here. The Eastern Ontario Trails Alliance has asked the OFSC, which is the Ontario Federation of Snowmobile Club, to appoint a member to the board to have better collaboration between the different user groups. They have not done that yet, so the board is still waiting on that. And then just to touch on kind of the investment that Eastern Ontario Trails Association makes into the trail network. Last year spent was $940,000 of expenses.
Thanks, Eric. I think that's been kind of an ongoing issue for quite a long time that hasn't been resolved, so thank you. Anything further? All in favor? That's carried. Correspondence for direction. Tim Matthewman, President of Shawano Ratepayers, Inc., 2026 Community Music Event Request. And the recommendation is that council approve the request of the Shawano Ratepayers for use of the Marmor Lake Sand Dome property on North Steenberg Lake Road on August the 15th, 2026 for their annual community music event, conditional on the submission to staff of an insurance certificate for 5 million liability with the corporation of the municipality of Marmor Lake listed as an additional insured no later than August the 7th, 2026. And I have a mover and a seconder. Mike, second. Eric, any comments or questions? This is an annual event, as I understand it. Hopefully they get good weather. Anyway, all in favor? That's carried. Building Inspection Services Board, March 2026 report, and the recommendation is that council receive the report for information. Moved by Ron, second Mike. Comments or questions? All in favor? That's carried. Bylaws, bylaw number 2026-27, use of municipal resources for election bylaw. The recommendation is that bylaw 2026-27, being a bylaw to establish a policy for the use of municipal resources for election purposes for the municipality of Marmor Lake, be read and passed this 21st day of April 2026. And I have a mover and a seconder. Eric, second Mike. All in favor? That's carried. Bylaw number 2026-28, long-term borrowing bylaw, regarding the landfill loader. And the recommendation is that bylaw 2026-28, being a bylaw to authorize the long-term borrowing for a 10-year amortization plan in the principal amount of $166,334.98 towards the cost of a 2025 John Deere track loader from Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, be read and passed this 21st day of April 2026. And I have a mover and a seconder. Mike, second. Ron, any comments on that bylaw? All in favor? That's carried. Notice of motions. Ron?
Highway 14 load restrictions. Whereas Highway 14 has experienced significant deterioration due to ongoing heavy traffic, whereas the road structure is particularly susceptible to damage during the spring thaw period, and whereas the municipality of Marmor Lake does not currently have sufficient funds to undertake a full reconstruction of Highway 14. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of Municipality of Marmor Lake directs staff to look into implementation of a seasonal load restriction of 5 ton per axle on Highway 14 during the spring period to commence in 2027 and provide a report to council consideration at the future meeting, for a future meeting.
Thank you, Ron. Any announcements? Go ahead, Eric.
Sure. Just a reminder to the public this weekend from Friday to Sunday, April 24th to 26th, is the Marmor Lake Annual Trash Bash. Kits are available. If you still want to participate, you can go to the library during library hours or town hall. There's kits available with bags and gloves, as well as an instruction sheet. The municipality is taking care of any of the material that's collected. So there's instructions on the website as well. If you would like to participate, marmorlake.ca/trash bash. And then just a reminder to the public that Alto did extend the engagement portal feedback till April 24th. So that deadline is coming very quickly. I cannot stress enough how important it is for residents to provide feedback through that official process directly to Alto. This is critical if you have specific concerns about your own property or impacts that you wish to have noted.
Thanks, Eric. Anybody else? Go ahead, Mike.
I'd like to remind everybody that Saturday, May 2nd is the annual tree giveaway at the fairgrounds, 9 till 12. Anyone interested in volunteering, this is a great way to come out and meet people. Any high school children who need volunteer hours, you are more than welcome. It's a great day. We give away near all the trees usually. What's left over goes to the Parks Department, who then utilizes them in the public areas in Marmora. Also, May 3rd is the cleanup up at Lake Township, sponsored by the Chipano Ratepayers Incorporated. Everyone to meet at the Sand Dome at 9 o'clock. Bring an ATV. We have a lot more road ditches to cover up there than we do down here. It gets pretty exciting if there's lots of water around in the ditches. So anyways, it's a good morning, and we're getting less and less every year. I think it's because we got all the old stuff out of the ditch. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Anything else? Okay. So we're going to go into closed session now. So the recommendation is, that council will proceed into closed meeting session at 6:23 PM under the Municipal Act 2001, Section 239(2)B or 239(2)B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. D, labor relations or employee negotiations regarding Ministry of Labor order. B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. D, labor relations or employee negotiations regarding a department update. Section 239(3)B, an ongoing investigation respecting a municipality, a local board, or a municipally controlled corporation by the ombudsman appointed under the Ombudsman Act, an ombudsman referred to in section 223.13-1 of this act, or the investigator referred to in subsection 239(2)(1 regarding closed meeting investigation. And B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees regarding personnel committee minutes. And I have a mover and a seconder, please. Go ahead. Thanks, Mike. Second, Ron, all in favor?